So I'm speaking about the mobile mindshift. The mobile mindshift is this change in people's expectation about what they can get done wherever they are on their mobile device. And so the mobile mindshift actually has a very deep and penetrating impact on how companies serve their customers and how they empower their employees as well. So I'll be talking about that with the group here today. The mobile mindshift is really something that happens in somebody's mind, but it happens because we live our lives through mobile moments. Hundreds of times a day sometimes, we pull out our mobile phone or maybe our tablet to get something done. We're out and about, maybe we're waiting for the bus, trying to kill time, or maybe we're shopping and looking for a price or a review, or maybe we just want to connect with somebody and communicate. So we have a reason to pull out our phone. We have a motivation. And so a mobile moment is a way to be very specific about where someone is, what they're trying to do, the kind of device they're looking at, their motivation, and then also what kind of service they're looking for. How can a company really serve a customer in that mobile moment? So it's a way to get very specific about what matters, that moment in time when someone's looking for help. The amazing thing about mobile moments is they're multiplying. We started, you may remember, with the iPhone back in the day in 2007, and there were 12 apps on the iPhone when it launched. And some very clever developers jailbroke the phone and started building their own applications. And about a year later, Apple introduced the App Store. Well, now today in 2014, we have 1.3 million mobile apps. From 0 in 2007 to 1.3 million. To give you a little bit of context, there are 200 million websites, public websites. So 1.3 million apps is still kind of a small number, but what happens with these apps is that entrepreneurs and innovators are the ones that have figured out how to help people in those mobile moments. And so when you think about what's driving the mobile mind shift, the change in expectation, it's the fact that there's entrepreneurs everywhere and innovators everywhere trying to figure out how to help somebody, help their customer, help their employee in those moments of need. And so it creates this ongoing change in expectation as you realize, oh, I can do that, I can do banking, I can do travel, I can do communications and texting and emoticons, and I can do all kinds of services related to things I care about in media and at work. And so it just multiplies and multiplies through this entrepreneurial, innovative onslaught. When you think about, again, about mobile moments and where they happen throughout your day. You could be a parent, for example, and you're trying to help your child with something. Maybe you're shopping. Maybe you're just trying to entertain yourself. Maybe you're traveling and you really want to find your way someplace. Or maybe you want to buy a ticket or something. So there's a lot of things that happen throughout your personal day. But there are also many things that happen in your work day. Just because you walk into work doesn't mean you stop being able to use a mobile device to get things done. A lot of applications people are bringing in from home and using at work, and then more and more companies are actually building mobile moments for their employees. If you think about sales, for example, you're getting ready to walk in to meet with a customer. Well, you'd like to have a full picture of that customer, not on your laptop, which is sitting maybe in your car or in your briefcase, but right there on your phone while you're in the lobby waiting. And so mobile moments matter at home, on the go, and also at work. Helping people in their mobile moments turns out to be very difficult for even a really smart big company. The small companies, entrepreneurs, they just have no concerns about what came before. They're going after the new. But big companies already have relationships with customers. They have perhaps retail stores or branches. They have websites. There's a digital presence they already have. And now they're trying to serve somebody in a mobile moment. And what happens is they get confused. They think, oh, well, mobile is just a small screen. Therefore, if I take the web, I just shrink it down. That's not a mobile moment. The web is about self-service, helping somebody come to your catalog of stuff and get done what they want to get done. Mobile moments are about service, anticipating what somebody wants to do next. We call it the next most likely action. And then bringing all of the resources of the company together to provide service, personalized service in that moment. And we're seeing this happen in consumer markets. We're starting to see it also for employee mobile moments. So for example, when I'm calling on that customer as a salesperson, it knows the address that I'm at. It knows because of my location GPS. It doesn't have to ask me to query the customer. It can actually pull up the customer record without me having to ask for it. And there are companies doing this kind of personalized employee experience today. So the first thing that a company has to do is to understand that they also have to undergo a mobile mind shift. They can't take their web mentality and apply it. They need a new mobile first, mobile moments mentality. And that's where it starts. When you think about how to actually deliver service into that mobile moment, what we found in the research for this book, we talked to about 150 companies. We have 30 case studies, so we have detailed understanding of how people accomplished it. And we found a very common pattern. We call it the idea cycle. You identify the moment, you design the mobile service, you engineer the systems and the processes and the people and the capability. That's the hard work. And then you analyze, you build in analytics to capture data and know if it's working or not working. Identify, design, engineer, analyze, and then you do it again. This is the critical part. It's an agile process. You start with the most obvious thing to do, the thing that's most clear that, yes, we should mobilize that. And then once you get in and start exploring, you realize there are many, many more things you can do. So at ING Bank, for example, they started with a very simple mobile banking application, and it was really just to check your balances. And then they added things like transfer money and bill pay, and more apply for credit is what they're thinking about now, increase your credit limit. So by iterating, by having an agile learn as you go process, the idea cycle, that is how you get in, get started, and then figure out all of the services you can provide. If you were to start with the end, all of them, you would never get started in the right way. You have to start very simply and learn as you go. When you think about the sustaining innovation, the fact that we are at the very beginning of a journey of building better service through mobile by understanding who someone is, what they have done with us before, and then personalizing it, that's how you start. But the next is to anticipate what they're most likely to do next. We call this predictive analytics. And all the data has to come together to say, oh, it looks like it's most likely that you're going to want to do this next. Let me put that in front of you, make it easy for you to take that next most likely action. Now that's all still touchscreen and buttons and things like that. But as you start to think about voice control, perhaps there's an auditory response rather than having to see it on a screen. You might have a watch, for example, all the rage. The watch sort of, your phone stays in your pocket, but you've got a quick interaction, a glanceable moment. And so when you think about these new models for interface design and delivering the value, I think we'll uncover and discover those as we go. But this path of providing service in a moment of need, it's going to be the path we'll be on for a long, long time. And as the needs change and we become more sophisticated, we have more ability to predict, and we have new interface technologies, we'll just keep on that path. And so what we say is mobile moments live even when mobile devices disappear from view. You still have that moment of engagement. It still happens in the person's context and moment of need. We call the book The Mobile Mind Shift because of the fact that, and we actually measure this at Forrester Research, we do a lot of customer data analysis, and we've measured a shift in expectation. In fact, 62% of mobile users expect a mobile web experience, and 43% expect a mobile app, and 23% expect that app experience to change based on your location. In other words, to personalize it. So the mobile mind shift is the important thing, because once somebody's mind is made up, once they expect something, they're going to keep after you until you deliver it. That's the most important thing to get right. When we think about preparing for this, I think we advise companies to really understand what their customers are looking for. And it won't be all their customers. It may be millennials. It may be the most technology sophisticated. It may be customers in the developed markets and not in the undeveloped markets. So you need to really understand your customers' mobile mind shift, and your employees too, for that matter. if you've got a sales force that has young people and old people, you got to be careful that maybe you build an application on a mobile device that the older salespeople may not engage with. And so you prepare by understanding, having that context, that very direct understanding of who and where and what and the motivation. And so that's requiring new kinds of research. The designing part is a new skill, a new competency. And companies are hiring in designers to help them. And these teams work across functional lines. They're multidisciplinary teams. We found a business outcome owner, somebody who owns the success of the moment, designers, developers, IT people, marketing people, all working on the same team for sometimes years, not just a few months, but a few years to create a great mobile experience. So yes, it's a matter of understanding and then designing and then iteratively building your way to that right good experience. Mobile moments can be very disruptive because entrepreneurs come in. If you look at Uber and taxi services, they're all over the news because they actually match the driver's desire for a passenger and the passenger's desire for a ride. So they're two mobile moments that intersect right there at that place when, yes, pick me up at this location. And so that's disruptive to the taxi industry. It's actually changing the market for taxis. And they use pricing to help create more disruption. They'll charge more when it's raining because you want more drivers out and people will be willing to pay a little more. So that's very disruptive. But and so the industry has to respond. It's also sustaining innovation, however, as well, because when you think about what matters most in the age of the customer, which is the age we're clearly in, customers have a lot of power, a lot of choice. And so you need to deliver the best value you can to them, the best service, the best experience. And in our data, we measure something we call the Customer Experience Index. And companies that outperform, that are in the top 25% in that index, outperform the public market. Their stock has risen 43% in the last 5 years. Companies that are in the bottom of the experience index have fallen by 23%, their stock. Yes, so it's a hugely valuable, sustaining innovation requirement to provide great experiences in those mobile moments. So it's both disruptive because entrepreneurs are coming in, and it's sustaining because you have to do this for your own customers.